It's loading up. Okay, so I'm gonna share. Hold on. I usually share the live, so 1 second.
Let me get on Facebook.
Yeah, you can share it.
People get usually when it's live,
Mm-hmm.
they just hop on right quick.
Yep, you just hop on. Yeah,
So
I
I'm
gotta
sharing
go
the link
between
you gave
pages.
me, right? I'm
Yeah,
sharing the link to Facebook. Okay, cool.
no,
Let me just
yeah,
do
the
that right
Facebook
now.
link. Yeah, that I gave you, and then we're already live. So, you can share the actual link that's going live right now
Okay.
off of the Breezy Way page. And mine is acting up, of course, because that's what it does. All right, y'all.
Let me tag you, Breezy.
Hello, Melanie. I don't know if you, Ray, I don't know if you can the see the questions and comments, but if not, I'll just keep reading them off.
Okay, now I can't. I only can see you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people can see them, some people can't. I don't know what the magic is, but hey. All right, so guys, here we are, the Breezy Way, and we have Ray here with us, and I'm gonna let Ray introduce himself.
Yes, what's going on, good people? This is Ray Grandois. I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts, born and raised in the inner city. I came from two immigrant parents, Haitian, and growing up, uh, I learned a lot from growing up in the city, and I always was an entrepreneur since 12 years old, figuring ways to make money because my goal was to buy my mom a house, like
Mhm.
every other child growing up in the city. I believed in entrepreneurship, so I shoveled the snow. I did everything I could just to make my $40.
You sold the snow.
I sold the snow. No, I shoveled the snow. It felt like I was selling it, but I shoveled the snow. But it felt like I was selling the snow. Nowadays, you don't see the youth out there shoveling snow to make their $40,
No.
but that's what I did before I got paralyzed.
Hmm.
Mhm. Yeah, so it's one of those things where I truly believe uh, in entrepreneurship and making a way out of no way.
Right. Yeah. So what? How did you get injured, or what is your level?
Yeah, so I got paralyzed at the age of 14 due to bacterial spinal meningitis. Uh, and that was an interesting process because spinal meningitis excuse me, an infectious disease similar to COVID. And so when I contracted it, it was a very scary time. So I had a huge headache. And it was like boom, 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 boom. It felt like a hammer banging on my head. And I had a basketball game that day. And I
Mm.
was like, I'm going to go. But my mom was like, no, I think you should stay home. And she gave me some Tylenol, some tea, doing what moms do, making sure her son
Right.
feels better. However, I had to, I went to the shower, I went to go take a shower. And then I hopped in the shower and the water felt like needles like going into my skin. I hopped out the shower and they're screaming. And then my mom's like, let's bring him to the hospital immediately. And they rushed me to the hospital. And I remember vividly, it was like the guy was like, my father gave the guy the insurance card. He's like, what's his name? The name is on the card. You can't read? Name is on the card. You can't read? He said, no, Grandois, my son is sick. He needs a doctor. My son is sick. He needs a doctor. And so I see this guy in white coming with a wheelchair. And mind you, I'm feeling wobbly.
Mm-hmm.
Puts me in a wheelchair, brings me back into the triage. And the doctor took a pen and he put it on my leg, my foot. And he's like, you feel that? I was like, no. He said, what year was it? I gave some bogus year. What's the president? Michael Jordan. And my parents are looking like, what's going on? And the nurse came, gave me the warm blanket, got me all warm. Then I took a Tylenol with liquid Tylenol, and I fell into a coma. And I was in a
Mhm.
coma for about a week or so.
Mm.
So
So that is how you got. Okay. So what did when you got out of, well, what are you doing now as far as entrepreneurship? Like what are
yeah,
what are you
so
doing?
so so from there, I woke up in the coma, and I said to myself, I wanted to play basketball, and they're like, no, you're paralyzed. And so after being paralyzed, doing physical therapy, I went to high school. I went to the same year I went to high school, was able to go to high school. And
Mm-hmm.
in high school, 2 years after that high school, I started the birth of Ray Grant Apparel. So the birth was uh, creating T-shirts, creating designs, put them on T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
There was an intramural game that in my high school uh, where you can play basketball, and as long as you wear that color shirt, you can play for your particular house. And my
Mm-hmm.
idea was like, let's create a uniform, and I pre-sold the shirt all over the school.
Uh-huh.
And then from there, people saw it was a success, and then people would come, hey, I want your shirt. And then organizations like Tufts Health Plan,
Uh-huh.
Easter Seals, different nonprofits came to order T-shirts for me. So I have the
Okay.
retail side, and then I have the custom side.
Uh-huh.
And so I had both sides, and so I never stopped
So you
doing that
constantly
business.
doing.
I've been doing that from
Uh-huh.
there, and I started that at 16. I'm not gonna tell you
Okay.
my age. I look young, so I'm
Now
young.
you gotta tell us your age.
No,
You
I'm
can't
young.
do.
I'm
Okay.
young. So at the end of the day, like I look at it, I'm young. So I was born February 12th, 1983. So I was born in the 80s.
You
And so
know.
whoever could do the math, I don't look my age. And people's
Yeah,
like, oh,
you know.
yeah,
You
like
saying I'm not gonna tell my age like you was old.
no, I'm not old. I can tell my age, but I mean in the sense of it doesn't matter
Yeah.
how old I am. So it really doesn't matter. That's also I mean. I'm not gonna tell my age in the sense
Yeah.
of I really don't care how old I am.
So do you do any do you even have time to do anything else?
Well, so here's the deal. So there's entrepreneurship with a disability. So uh, the wheelchair paralysis brought a lot of medical issues. So I've done so much in entrepreneurship. What came with that, coupled with pressure sores, I had blood clots before. I had UTIs, bone issues. There's a whole bunch of like
Right.
spiral effect dealing with the
Yes.
spinal. Yeah, dealing with the paralysis. And so I found a way to, even though I dealt with all these medical issues, I still was doing my entrepreneurship, even in the hospital, wherever I was at,
Right.
figuring out a way to just keep myself proactive, doing something. And that's why I can commend you, doing a podcast 2 years after close interest was huge because the same thing with me.
Yeah.
2 years after I started paralyzed at 14, started a business at 16, got my license at 17, bought a car at 18, went to prom. It was like,
Just never
okay,
stop.
it wasn't
Keep
stopping.
living.
It wasn't stopping. Keep flowing. Keep flowing. Um, however, I learned how to take a break and take a pause, but the pause is more like time to reflection and see, am I going in the right direction? Am I doing the right things? Who am I serving? Why am I really doing this? And what's the purpose in what I'm doing?
Mm-hmm.
So the time of going, there was a crash, and that crash helped me to pause and to see what's important, why am I doing it, and to focus uh, and be more targeted in my messaging.
So it helped you.
It did help me. It did help me to really look down. And like, so for example, it's a good segue. That's why I rebranded my company, which is called Own Your Inspiration. And it
Mm-hmm.
focuses on what's on the inside of you. And once you know what's on the inside of you, you can know who you are And once you
Mhm.
know who you are, you can know where you're going. And when you know where you're going, you can keep growing. And so that's what I help people do, is to keep going and keep growing. And in that process is uh when I crashed, I learned another thing. I call it GPA, gratitude, perspective, and attitude. So I help people raise their GPA, and I'm not talking about
Yeah,
the 3-point average.
I like that.
Yeah.
That is like, but it's so needed though. Like it's very much needed. It's very much needed, and not even just SCI, like just period, period.
Yeah, in life, someone who's walked before, and I'm sure you as well.
Hmm.
Um, it's a huge transition. However,
Yeah,
who I was before, I was the same person
never
afterward.
stop. Same one.
Yeah, and then I realized, okay, then I want to be the spinal cord helped me become a better person.
Hmm.
Because I realized, even though I was still 14, I was still a child, but there's a lot of things that needed to be addressed, and a lot of things that needed to be straightened and corrected um, as a child. And so the spinal cord injury had me face those mountains immediately, because it was real life. Like I wasn't walking. It's a whole different world, living with a spinal cord injury. Forget it starting a business.
Right,
Just the day to day, getting up out of bed.
and
It's,
that's a
it's huge.
process, like
That's a process.
mentally and physically. You
Hmm.
gotta get mentally ready, physically ready, and do it all at the same time.
All
Yeah.
at the same time.
Not
Yeah,
no just jumping up and getting up and going. It's a
yeah,
whole process. We have Shantae. She said, "I definitely like that GPA. Can you say it again, please?"
yeah. GPA, gratitude, perspective, and attitude. So the gratitude is, what am I grateful for? The perspective is looking at any situation and finding a positive perspective to it. And then the attitude, I like to call it, to be attitudes, is like, we can have different attitudes in different seasons. And however, looking at an attitude, say, let me have a peaceful attitude, let me have a grateful attitude, let me have a tenacity attitude, whatever attitude is necessary for the particular season or reason. Approach it with a particular attitude. So it's GPA. So you want to continue to increase your GPA. Yeah.
Shantae, you got that? Say it again, Ray.
Yep. Gratitude,
Okay.
perspective, and attitude.
I
GPA.
thought it went out for a second,
Now you
but I
good. You
think that
good.
was just my phone. Yeah. So do you what advice do you have for young ones or anyone that is trying to start a business, continue a business, like, or anything?
The number one thing I would say, well, I'll break it down into three things. The number one thing um, is take ownership. Take ownership of your situation, whatever it is. Own it. So I got paralyzed at 14 years old. It wasn't my fault. Maybe some of it could have been my fault because of my nutrition, disagree. But regardless of the fact, whether it was my fault or not,
Right.
at the end of the day, it's my life.
Hmm.
So I got to take ownership. And so once I take that ownership, I go back to yours, mine, own yours. I go mine. And then another advice I say is inspiration. But when people think about inspiration, they think about the applause. Oh my God, it's an inspiration. Oh my goodness, da 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 da. And I want them to flip it and look at it as the you um going through a process of adversity. I like to call it going through the mud and
Hmm.
going through the grind. It's like, okay, what are the areas while I'm going through this particular adversity or going through the mud? What areas that I need to that it's exposing? Is it exposing my anger issues? Is it exposing my laziness? Is it exposing an area of education where I need to better myself? So going through that a process of exposing all these things can 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 bring you to you. And then now you're facing your mountain. So I call it own your inspiration. So when that inspiration is now, once you start going through it, you start to sweat. Like you inspired because now
Now,
you sweating.
now you
It's the
sweating.
sweat. It's the
The
sweat. It's
grind.
the grind. Like, okay. So now the inspiration is not like, it's not an applause. It's going through a war. It's going through some type of adversity. And usually I like to call it is you're really looking in the mirror at yourself.
Right.
You're facing yourself. And that's where I think for spinal cord injuries, we're facing ourselves every single day. Will I make it today? Will I get up today? Can I get up today? And some days, there's days where I didn't get up. That doesn't mean that I lost. It just means that, you know what, today I got to take that rest. And the next day,
Hmm.
I'm going to hit it. I'm going to get right back on it. And it's okay to not uh, be the status quo of the grinding. I'm grinding. I'm doing this. I'm doing
Yeah.
that. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. For me, my why um, is the chair. Is looking at it like, you know what? That's my best friend and the enemy at the same time.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like I appreciate the beauty that comes from the wheelchair. That why, and then I like to call it the habits. What are the habits? The habits that I'm creating
Yeah.
while I'm going through the process. And then also looking at it, what can I eliminate? Everything, like there's certain things that in my life I have to eliminate in order to grow.
Yeah.
And then I look at the execution. After I eliminate something, then the weight's off. Say if I have to eliminate, I don't know, social media, boom, now I got some more strength so I can execute. And then I look at it as my legacy. What legacy am I going to leave? And then lastly, I look at it, the stories I'm telling. And then when you look at that, it's like, wow, I just went through my why, my habits. What am I going to eliminate? What am I going to execute? And now my legacy. And then now the stories I get to tell and the stories that other people get to share. So what did
Mhm.
I just spell out? Wheels. And what does a wheel get you? You put one wheel, gets you forward. You put on a whole bunch of wheels, you're going to go a lot of places.
Right. Like I
You
got
going to
six
go.
of them.
Yeah, you gonna go. You got 6 wheels. That's 6 stories. You got one story for
Right.
each wheel. So a lot of times we don't even realize that we're creating a story every day. We're creating a habit every day. We're creating a legacy. No matter whether we do something or we're not doing something. What story you gonna create? What habit you gonna do? And our
Melanie
whys is
said,
different.
Melanie said, wheel to wheel.
Yeah, wheel to wheel.
WHEEL to WILL. Yeah.
LL. I love it. Wheel to wheel.
Yeah, you definitely have to keep going. And that grind and them habits, like you have to definitely set like positive habits,
Yeah,
especially because like it's so much to deal with physically and mentally. Like bad habits will definitely set you back and keep you back. So you gotta definitely like stay motivated, talk to motivated people. Like whatever you gotta do, like you said, eliminate stuff. Like whatever you have to do, like you have to do it all positively.
correct. And the environment, like you said, the people around you play a major role. I've been blessed, you know, to have my beautiful wife to support me through this process, and that I couldn't even imagine, not having support. And of course, I have my family, at the
Mhm.
time, my brother, my mom, my dad, and everybody, and cousins, aunts, and uncles. Great support system, and that played a major role in my rehab and who I am today. Because without that environment, it's very difficult for something to grow
It is.
properly.
It is.
Can it be done? Absolutely.
Yeah.
However, the rose from the concrete, can it? Yeah, absolutely, it can be done. It's just how much roses do you see
Yeah.
grow from the concrete? Not that many,
Mm-mm.
So it's a process. So it's better for me. I strongly believe in that community,
Yes.
in that environment, so we all can grow
like
healthy.
you said, you had family support. I've had great family support, and we know like there's others who don't have that family support, but you have to just find family outside of blood.
Yeah,
Like, whatever you have to do, you have to find
yeah,
that positive, environment and energy and that love. Like you don't have to get it within, blood or relatives. Like you can get it outside. You can make your own family.
yeah,
And that's what I tell a lot of people, like, you don't have that family support, like you can make your own family.
yeah. And I appreciate you, inviting me onto your show because, we met online and you're like, hey, I'm doing this. Come on, what's up? I'm like, let's go. Let's go. And I greatly appreciate that. Like you
Yes.
said, you create your own family, especially nowadays where, it's so digital, it's accessible. We can meet, connect with people.
Right.
And
It
there's
makes it
really no
easy.
excuse.
I do want you to send me like your link for your, uh shirts and businesses
Yeah,
and everything.
absolutely.
And then you have a podcast, right?
Yes, I have a
Yeah.
podcast, and you're gonna be on that as well. After we finish up this,
Get it together.
I'm going on season 2, so I've been
Okay.
preparing. That's why I haven't sent you the link yet.
There you
So yeah, and podcast website. The website, looking at like maybe three weeks will be up. So
go. Okay.
it'll be onyourinspiration.com, but I'll send it to you as well.
Hmm.
And then also my YouTube channel, Own Your Inspiration, as well, where I post videos of once a week about whether part of my story or just encouraging, just
Right.
getting people going. Like, hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Well, let's go. This is the word of the day. Da 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 da.
Hmm.
Let's go. So either or, I find some way to motivate the disability community or just people in general.
Okay. Shantae, she said she would like to get you on her show if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So I'll get you her contact information and let you all link up. And then as always, guys, I will post Ray's information in the description after I log out and I get everything. And any last encouraging words you want to say to anybody, everyone, Ray?
Last encouraging words, I would say, um, look in the mirror and understand that you are worthy, that God loves you, um, and tell yourself that you are worthy to create and to be who you're destined to be, and believe that you can accomplish whatever you put your mind to and that you're inspired to, and be patient and be kind with yourself in the conversation that you're having in your head. Speak words of worthiness, praise, and belief, and power, and strength, and authority, and know that you can accomplish what you are destined to accomplish.
Definitely. Definitely. So we have everyone wanting your positive, loving your positive vibe, wanting your website. Heather, she's one of my lovely nurses that loves to get on me. She said, Ray, can we use you as a mentor? We need more positive influences in the SCI community.
Yeah. What a hospital. I am a mentor. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. We can link up. I give you my information, and we can talk more about it. I do mentoring as well, but I love to speak to the youth, spinal cord injuries. I can help whatever, however I can help. I'm open to help and to talk to people and to help anywhere I can. So I'm available, whether through Instagram, through Facebook, uh, whatever way we can connect.
So, so many social media outlets, like,
Yeah.
but I will post his information, everybody. Um, I got y'all. Don't jump down my back. I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
post it. Melanie said, "Thank you for your I can't even. Oh, thank you for your servant heart, Ray.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
All right, guys, we're gonna end this live, and thank you, Ray. Make sure you send me your information, and I'll be contacting you as soon as I end the live.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
My pleasure.